The best outcome from having Husky Block is that we can have a school-wide from K to 8 expectation that social emotional learning is really important.
The Husky Block originated because we realized that we wanted to get all the factors related to social emotional learning into 1 week, and there were so many components of it that we wanted to make sure was outlined well before the start of the school year.
We're actually going to dedicate time in our schedule so that students can learn the skills that they really need to interact with one another, to resolve problems, and to be successful not only in school but in their life beyond school.
So what we decided to do was on Monday and Tuesday, all classrooms and all students would be receiving social emotional learning. That's primarily done through our second step curriculum, and every classroom has that kit. On Wednesdays, we thought it would be important to promote a positive school climate, and so related to the work of PBIS, we wanted to design a behavior matrix that aligns to the core values of a Condon school. Be kind, be safe, be respectful and responsible. And so on Wednesday mornings during the Husky Block, students receive lessons and instruction about what it looks like. On Thursday, we have what we call our executive functioning day. This is in the upper school, it looks like more of study skills training, and then at the lower levels, it's a little bit more self-directed by the classroom teacher, and so games that really reinforce memory skills, reinforce the initiation tasks, organization. On Friday, we have what we call a cultural focus to provide some discussion that's relevant to the school culture. Some classrooms also utilize Friday as a day to provide some skill review for either second step or for the behavior matrix.
So in first grade, we talk a lot about the ability to read someone else's feelings by looking at their face and looking at their bodies. And through our work with second steps and the social emotional curriculum, my students are much more able to identify how somebody is feeling, which then in turn helps them to empathize with that person.
It helps me get along with others because we usually become together. We usually do second step, or we'll read a folk tale and we'll talk about the 4 Condon school rules.
That helps to start the day right, just having that routine of Husky Block, knowing that we're going to be developing specific skills and having a whole lesson that's kind of tailored around it.
I filled a bucket when we were at recess, and a friend got punched in the eye. I helped them go into Mr. Kelly. I felt good because I was helping a friend.
One thing that we really focus on, especially in the upper school, is having time for restorative circles. So I would say that overall has really improved the school culture. Bullying was a huge issue in the beginning of the year, and being able to have a very tight-knit community with this circle process has, I would say, really helped students who might be feeling victimized or might be feeling hurt. I'm hearing students using the language that we're using in circles, like bystander, upstander, or mentioning to me when they come into class, hey, this happened to me, I feel like we really need to have a circle.
Carving out that time, while a small technical change has really made a big impact on the time allotted for having real conversations about social emotional learning.
It helped me be more inclusive towards other people, towards new students in our community.
Tapping it helps us, there's different areas you can tap, and it just helps you focus a little bit, and it helps you get your mind off of stuff, and it makes you feel more relaxed.
Emotions are like your superpower, but you have to learn to control and tame them. And so that lesson in itself was a small piece, but it actually allowed us to go into a bigger conversation about the way that they dealt and coped with the feelings that they were having present tense. It was the entry point to facilitating bigger conversations, and those conversations were meaty. I can then take that and use that as a reference point, a direct reference point, okay, remember how we did XYZ, and then use that for a quick hitter in the middle of instructional time. It directly translates into how well the culture of my homeroom went, and also how smoothly we were able to transition through issues.
Like a lot of other schools within BPS, we use BIMIS progress monitoring and data collection. especially from the fall to the spring. I noticed a huge jump between social functioning and also academic functioning from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And I find it no coincidence that we now have like Husky block this year. Overall, BIMUS aside, the reality is if students are not functioning socially and emotionally, they're not going to be learning academically.
Transformative. My students now have a way to take their emotions, their conflicts, and turn it into something positive and have language to express what they're trying to say.
So the idea is really to provide a safe and supportive environment to equip students to have the pro-social skills to be successful, not just socially and within their development, but also academically. My vision is that students will develop those pro-social skills through second step, through that practice and rehearsal, to then be able to be contributing citizens of this community.